Better Call Saul Season 6 Episode 13, Theories and Predictions Explained. With the penultimate episode of Better Call Saul recently being released, and with there now only being one episode left in the entire show, I thought I'd take a look at what could potentially happen in the show's finale, and give my theories and predictions as to what I think could happen next. So let's get into it. Here is Better Call Saul Season 6 Episode 13, Theories and Predictions Explained. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. With episode 12 of the show finishing the way that it did, with Marion getting the police called on Gene, and there being an understanding that he was in fact from Albuquerque and he had the name Saul Goodman, it finished with him running away from the area and out of Marion's house as fast as possible. The cat is now out of the bag and his true identity is known, and the authorities will likely know where to look to find the wanted Saul Goodman. So it's looking as though he's not got that many options left on the table. This quite literally leaves an amalgamation of possibilities of different things to occur in the show's finale, but I'll share a few things that could potentially occur. Let's address the preview for the finale that was in episode 12 of the show. We had a slow shot of Jimmy's esteem where we last saw it in season 5 of the show, where it was tossed off of the side following a gang encountering it. We saw it on one other occasion other than episode 8 of season 5, and that was in Season 5, Episode 9, where we saw Lalo go back with Nacho to locate the car. It looked as though this could potentially be a flashback, maybe to a few years ago, seeing as though it was in colour. Or it could be occurring in the present time, but now that his identity has been revealed as Saul Goodman, we could see it go back to colour. The car looked like it had a ton of rust on it, which would likely occur to a vehicle if left in the desert for an elongated period of time. We also know that it's definitely the car in question, based on the fact that it says Esteem on it. It has the red door on the right, and the number plate was absent from the back. We saw Mike remove the plate from the back of the vehicle in Season 5, Episode 8 of the show, so I think it's safe to say that it's definitely that car. Alongside the visual, we also heard audio, which does often tend to be from a completely different moment in the episode, and can be misleading, so it's not to say that it's going to be taking place in this scene. But we had Jimmy uttering the words, Hoover, Pressure, Max Extractor, Model 60. This to me insinuated that he's trying to get a hold of the best quality vacuum repair guy, Ed. Outside of the show, the actor who played him, Robert Forster, passed away in 2019, so they may well write his death into the show, and when Gene phones the number, we could see him be met with a response that isn't that familiar, and that plan could fall through. We know that he was on the phone with him not that long ago in his timeline, which was in Season 5 Episode 1 of the show, but there's nothing to say that it's not possible for that to happen, and for him to not be able to get through to him. An alternative outcome could be that they manage to use the audio recording of the character in the past, or they don't use audio at all during the call, and we just see Gene's side of the call, but within the story he's successful in setting up a new identity. But I think if that is the case, he will get stopped in his tracks before Jimmy is able to successfully start the new life. There's not going to be a happy ending for Jimmy, and as he's already successfully started out a new life before, they wouldn't allow that to be the end for the character. When we heard the audio of him speaking the words, he sounded disorientated and confused, almost like he'd just woken up or was rushing. It also sounded as though there was rustling of papers. He could be looking for the card or phone number through the box that he has in the bottom of his cupboard, where he kept Mario's ring, as I'm imagining that's where he keeps everything he owns that's related to the former part of his life. This could be occurring moments after he'd run from Marion's house, and it could be the first step in his contingency plan. Outside of the preview, Gene has two things catching up with him. He's got the fact that Marion called the cops on him and revealed that he's Saul Goodman, but we also have the fact that Kim went to the authorities with a statement on what actually happened to Howard on the night that he died, and everything that came before. This incriminates Gene in 3 different forms, as the alias of Saul Goodman, Gene Tukovic, and also Jimmy. With Gene on the run, I think it's something that's also going to put Jeff in a difficult position. Despite not having any key evidence on his person regarding the break-in, he may be linked to the crime if it is linked back to Gene, which I imagine it's going to be, and then he'll be convicted of being an accessory to the crime. So although Marion has done the right thing by calling the police on Gene once knowing his true identity, Jeff's story may end with him in jail, and Marion on her own. With the decision on what's going to happen with the statement that Kim wrote about the events that unfolded now being left down to the judge in the court on if it's worth pursuing to the next level or not, I think we'll see it get pursued. Kim is currently living a life that it's clear to see she's not enjoying. A suburban life with a 9-to-5 office job, having to muster up the energy to get excited over sprinklers. It's definitely not Kim. And whilst she may not be as bad of a person as Jimmy, she was a catalyst in the events that unfolded and ultimately resulted in Howard's death. And as we heard in a teaser a while back, she promised to conduct herself uprightly and according to the law. She will likely be staying true to her beliefs and will close off as the true person that she is, no matter what the consequences are. This facade of a life that she's living in Florida is nothing compared to the life that she once had, prior to all of this mess unfolding, and she would almost rather not have it. We do also have one final appearance of Walter White scheduled in the show. We were promised an appearance of Jesse and Walt, which we've had, a solo appearance of Jesse, which was seen in the most recent episode, and we've also been promised one of Walt on his own, so it has to happen in this episode. I think it could be connected to the time that he upped and left last time in the Breaking Bad timeline, and he may be channeling similarities as the mindset is likely going to be similar. But this is something that we're going to have to wait and see how it gets incorporated. In terms of if Jimmy is going to live or die, that's something that's quite literally impossible to predict, and I don't really want to put my name to that prediction. I think both outcomes will be just as bleak for the character. It's evident Jimmy wants to survive, so I don't think he'll do anything to himself. But the only threat to Jimmy right now is the authorities and himself, so it's going to be a lose-lose situation for the character. With the title of the final episode being Saul Gone, and it meaning the character is gone, but also a play on the phrase "it's all gone," I don't think Jimmy is going to be making it out alive. That going hand in hand with the foreshadowing of the grave scene in episode 11, the setting up of Jimmy's death is there on a plate. Okay, maybe I did put myself to that prediction. Regardless of these predictions, the show has been a whirlwind of an experience, and it's hard to nail exactly what's going to happen. With the season finale being described as psychologically damaging, I can't quite possibly think of what it could entail. It's going to be emotional, heartbreaking, and I hope it's satisfying. Saying goodbye to Jimmy, Saul, Gene, and Kim, and the entire Breaking Bad universe that's been a part of our lives for well over a decade is going to be something that's filled with sadness. But I bet this ending is going to be everything we want and more. So, there you have it. Better Call Saul Season 6 Episode 13, Theories and Predictions Explained. If you want to see more videos on Better Call Saul such as endings explained, theories and predictions, and character breakdowns, then click on the I button. Or alternatively, you can head over to my channel where you'll find them all. If you want to give me a show or movie that you'd like me to review next, then head over to my Twitter, @BrainPilot_, and tweet me what show or movie you'd like me to review. And finally, if you'd like to see what I rate the latest movies that don't quite make the cut to getting a dedicated video, then head over to my Letterboxd profile. It's where I rate the latest releases in real time. What do you think is going to happen in the show's finale? Leave a comment down below, and don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you next time.